Hi, this is State Senator Jason Rapert, and I just wanted to take a few moments today to wish all of you a happy 4th of July and happy Independence Day. I hope that you enjoy this time with your friends and your family wherever you choose to be. I believe that this nation is still one nation under God, and I believe that when our founding fathers came together in July of 1776, and they made the Declaration of Independence, in which they stated that we are given rights by God that no man and no government can take away from us, but they came together to form a nation that wanted to make sure those rights were never infringed upon. We are a nation, as Abraham Lincoln said, of the people, by the people, and for the people. And whenever we have a situation in which the majority will of this country, the majority will of this nation is trampled underfoot, I believe that we have a problem. You see, it was a majority of people in those communities that sent those delegates there that made the Declaration of Independence. And then, after we won the war, it was a majority of the communities that sent their men and delegates together to form the Articles of Confederation that began this great United States of America. And ultimately, it was the formation of the U.S. Constitution, which was voted on by a majority to form this great nation and gave us what we now have, which is a republic. In fact, Ben Franklin even stated that when they finished voting upon and forming the U.S. Constitution, he said, we have given you a republic if you can keep it. Ben Franklin also was the person who stepped forward before they settled on the U.S. Constitution and asked for prayer and wisdom and guidance for all of those that were there. I believe that we still are one nation under God, and I believe in the idea that in God we do still trust. I wanted to share something with you because I know that the nation is really disturbed right now with the decision that the Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court says is not based upon the Constitution whatsoever. Justice Antonin Scalia says that the decision recently where 5 robed lawyers on the United States Supreme Court decided to create, and I like to say conjure up, this new right in the 14th Amendment to get a same-sex marriage license. He said that this decision, because it tramples 10th Amendment rights, states' rights, because it actually is a violation of religious liberty for people all over the country, he said this is a threat. This is a direct quote. He said this is a threat to American democracy. Friends, we've had threats in our country before, and I want to share with you what Franklin Delano Roosevelt said. This was a Democrat president, the president who led us through World War II. I want you to hear what he has to say. The connection between religion and democracy. The following excerpt from Franklin Delano Roosevelt's State of the Union to Congress address in 1939 underscores how, until recent years, America's leadership understood the vital connection between religion and democracy. With Hitler on the move in Europe, President Roosevelt said this: "Storms from abroad directly challenge 3 institutions indispensable to Americans now as always. The first is religion. It is the source of the other 2, democracy and international good faith. Religion, by teaching man his relationship to God, gives the individual a sense of his own dignity and teaches him to respect himself by respecting his neighbors. Democracy, the practice of self-government, is a covenant among free men to respect the rights and liberties of their fellows. International good faith, a sister of democracy, springs from the will of civilized nations of men to respect the rights and liberties of other nations and men. In a modern civilization, all 3, religion, democracy, and international good faith, complement and support each other. Where freedom of religion has been attacked, the attack has come from sources opposed to democracy." Listen to that again. Where freedom of religion has been attacked, the attack has come from sources opposed to democracy. Where democracy has been overthrown, the spirit of free worship has disappeared. And where religion and democracy have vanished, good faith and reason in international affairs have given way to strident ambition and brute force. An ordering of society which relegates religion, democracy, and good faith among nations to the background can find no place within it for the ideals of the Prince of Peace. The United States rejects such an ordering and retains its ancient faith. Hooray for President Roosevelt. He closes with this: there comes a time in the affairs of men when they must prepare to defend not their homes alone, but the tenets of faith and humanity on which their churches, their governments, and their very civilization are founded. The defense of religion, of democracy, and of good faith among nations is all the same fight. To save one, we must now make up our minds to save all. My friends, fellow Americans, fellow Arkansans here in my state, I say that what Franklin Delano Roosevelt shared in his State of the Union address to Congress means as much today, if not more, than even then. You see, he saw these threats from without the country. He saw these threats in a fascist government in Germany that was trying to minimize the rights of so many good people of faith. Ultimately, burning books, rewriting history, trying to ethnically cleanse his nation of anything that he did not believe was good and right. You see, I believe in protecting the rights of all individuals and their liberties. But I do not believe that you do so by destroying the foundation of the nation as you attempt to uplift something that is, frankly, to many people, totally against nature and is not natural. I'm asking you this weekend and today to get on your knees and continue to pray for this nation. Get on your knees and continue to pray for America. But after you have been on your knees and you've pled your case before the Father, I ask you to stand to your feet, and to stand with me and others around this nation that know that this decision from the Supreme Court is an unjust law. If you're a county clerk around this nation and you do not believe in issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples, I urge you to reach out to Liberty Counsel, www.lc.org, or any of the other fine religious liberties firms in our nation, Liberty Institute in Texas, or Alliance Defending Freedom. Reach out to any of these three and ask them about your legal rights. Franklin Delano Roosevelt said we should take a stand because any threat against democracy or religion or international good faith is an attack. It's an attack against all. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a Democrat. I have chosen to be in the Republican Party. But both of us know, and so do all good men and women know today, that without this thread of morality and reverence for God, the fabric of what we know as the United States of America will come apart. Now is not a time to be silent. Now is not a time to feel defeated. Now is a time to rise up. There are 60 million Christians in America that either are not registered or are not actively voting. I ask you to take a stand today for your faith, your religious freedom under the First Amendment. You know, so many people from the left will holler and claim and say, what about separation of church and state? Separation of church and state was never mentioned in the United States Constitution. It was mentioned in a letter by Thomas Jefferson to the Danbury Baptists. You know, have you ever written a letter or sent a text or sent a message on social media that you may not have thought was worded properly and you wish you could take that back? You know, in Thomas Jefferson's day, he did not have those electronic forms of communication, but they wrote letters. And I'm sure with his popularity, he wrote many letters. And I'm sure that sometimes he said things that just not exactly like he wanted to say them. But I can assure you this, that the integrity of Thomas Jefferson, what he thought about the rule of law, he would be horrified to know that any judge or any person would say what he wrote in a personal letter should have the weight of law in this country. Think about it. We are a nation of laws. We are not a nation of personal letters or of texts or tweets or Facebook posts. We are a nation of laws. Think about that. I leave you with my goodwill today. I want to leave you with the idea that you can be encouraged. If you want to reach out, many of you have, about Appeal to Heaven, I want you to reach out to me. You can write to me at senator.jason.rapert@gmail.com, or you can go to my website, which you see above me here, which is www.jasonrapertforsenate.com. I'm going to continue to stand up for religious liberty in this nation. I'm going to continue to stand up for marriage between one man and one woman in this nation, and I'm going to continue to stand up for states' rights in this nation. And I ask that you stand with me. God bless you, and God bless America.